Rerolling is the ultimate side quest of any gacha game. Can it be time consuming? Usually. Is it a pain? Typically. But can it be worth it? Absolutely. Now, normally I would tell you, like any good side quest, it's an optional, skippable sort of a thing. But for Sword of Convallaria, you may want to consider that stance just a little bit. Let's cover the stacked opening for Sword of Convallaria, the banners themselves, and why they might just be worth restarting your own account for. First, and briefly, if you don't know what a reroll is, it's where you get to a certain point in a gacha game where you have access to the banners that you can pull on and enough resources to do a few pulls or multi-pulls on those banners. If you get what you want in that first go around, awesome. You're one of the lucky ones. You just keep going with your account and you enjoy your time in that world. If you're not, and honestly that's going to be a lot of us, that's where you have to make a key decision of, do I throw away everything I just did and restart, i.e. re-roll my account, or do I accept what the gacha gods have given me and I move along with my account? For Sword of Convallaria, we don't yet know if we're going to have guest accounts to make this re-rolling easier. If we don't, then for each new set of pulls or each re-roll, you're going to need a new email address. If you haven't prepped a whole bunch of these already or you just don't want to, you're going to end up limited on how many re-rolls you're going to do as a result. This whole process ends up being time consuming because you're replaying the starting missions over and over and over again until you get that set of pulls that you really want. So, sounds amazing, right? So why would you want to do this? Well, rerolling allows you to use less of these limited resources early on in the game to get that really good jump head start on your account. If you get that featured character that you want, you just stop and enjoy. If you don't, then you reroll. Some will even take this further and try to get multiple characters from multiple different banners. Me personally, I'm not that patient. I want to get in there, hopefully get my reroll or two if I need to, get the character I want, and then move on with the game. No hate towards those that want to do it. I say play the game the way you want to play it. I know just me personally, I can only stand up so many rerolls, and I really don't want to make a bunch of new email accounts personally. So with that out of the way, why do I think this is one of the most stacked starting set of banners I've seen in gacha games in a long time? Well, primarily, it's really down to 3 characters and kind of a off the side fourth, if you will. Given today's live stream, we know that we're getting Gloria as the debut featured character. She's on her own banner. You can pity her all the way up to 180 gems. On the other side, we've got Col and Beryl, 2 amazing DPS units that we'll talk about in a second, and they're on a shared banner where when you pull a legendary, they both have a rate up and you can get one or the other, just depending on which way the gacha gods favor you. So why does all this matter? Well, these 3 characters are still top tier on Taiwan and Chinese servers to this day, and they've been in the game for about a year now. Well, Gloria has at the very least. I'm not going to waste your time. All 3 of these characters, individually or together, are worth a reroll. Certainly worth a pity if you're not going to reroll. Can you get by without them? Absolutely. And plenty of people that have been playing the live game have done it for all this time. There's even some that have gone kind of a challenge mode style of no pulls or low pulls who definitely don't have these or any of the other, SSR, super legendary, great top tier characters, and they're clearing all the hardest content. So you don't absolutely need them. But let me take a minute and tell you a little bit about each of them, just in brief, so you have an idea of why they're so valuable. So first up, we've got Gloria, who is the unit of choice for me. I may be biased towards the, somewhat similarities she has to Agrius from Final Fantasy Tactics, but that aside, she's an absolute powerhouse. She's an offensive unit who buffs the team. She can buff movement, speed, attack, defense. She starts each battle by granting buffs to the team by holding her banner, her flag. She also has a knockback move, which in this game can be very strategically potent to knock people off of cliffs, one-shotting whoever goes over an edge. She even swaps from lance to sword mode, making her even more offensively potent. Given how much she does for the party, just by being there, frankly, she is an impossible unit to ignore. Then we have the banner pair of Col and Beryl. Col is the physical stealth assassin type character. With her talents, she's able to act again after killing an enemy from the back or from the side, at least once within her round. There's also synergy with Inanna, another great character we'll talk about in a second here, where she can receive an additional turn and then do it all over again. I believe there's also tactics or tarot cards that allow you to do this again. So in some cases, you've got Cole just chain attacking, chain killing multiple enemies in a single given round, which is incredibly powerful when you're used to a character just, attacking one thing one time and being done with it. Very much an offensive powerhouse, heavy on crit damage, and even some cool skills that like help you teleport behind enemies and stuff like that before you strike them. So done correctly with good support, good investment, you have a murderous chain killing assassin on your hands with Cole. On the other side is Beryl, who is the mage of destruction. From what I can tell, there is no better mage on the existing servers as of right now. She has heavy AoE damage and does a really cool thing where she can leave, burn patches across the environment. And if you don't know why that is so strong, burn does percent-based damage. So let's say you have a tanky boss who's, coming into your face. If you have a burn patch there, then each turn they're taking percent-based damage. On top of all this, what really makes Beryl potent is she has energy recharge capabilities. So if you read through her skills, and depending how much you have her master talents leveled up, she is able to recharge, I believe it's up to 3 energy points per turn, or at the very least you'll get up to 3 total, which means that she's able to launch these heavy offensive spells just turn after turn after turn, just really laying AoE destruction, leaving burning flames of, patch grass all over the battlefield each and every one of her turns. And then finally, someone to keep an eye out on the starter banner, although this is a very low chance to pull her when you have all the other characters. I think there's over 20 maybe in the standard banner, is Inanna. Inanna is a top tier healer. For one, she also has a ability to project out like a helper, another unit of sorts, which is great fodder. From a strategic position, you're gaining a character that can go out there and take hits for you, which I love. And then most importantly, and if you're familiar with the strategy role-playing genres, this is, a key skill to look out for. She can grant a character another turn. So picture a scenario where, Beryl is charging up a move, right? And you have to typically wait a turn. Well, here comes Inanna. She can jump in, give the free turn, and now Beryl just goes again, just launches that nuke or whatever it is that you're doing without having to wait around and have people reposition themselves. Or Cole goes out, goes on a rampage, kills somebody, gets the second enemy, does it again. Inanna pops in, says, hey, why don't you take another turn? Cole's at it again. And so this combination of support plus heals when you don't need it is just so incredibly powerful. She is certainly on my pity list. Actually, she's my second most desirable pick after Gloria from my own personal strategy. And unfortunately, she's not on a debut banner or a featured banner. So again, you don't get any special rate ups. But what I will do is if I luck into her when I do the initial pulls, awesome. If not, I'm going to start saving my gems for a pity later. So what is my plan and what would I recommend? Well, personal bias aside, I really do think Gloria is the all-star amongst really Hall of Fame banners here. You can't go wrong with any of them. And if, Beryl is your favorite or Cole is your favorite, you're not doing any injustice to yourself by making that your focus personally. I would say I would not tell you to focus on the beginner banner. Yes, the rates are great on it. I think you can do up to 3 multis and it goes away after you get 1 legendary character, but it's so hard to target on that one. It just makes it, less desirable. And I'm not sure if you can even get Gloria on that one or not. But aside from that, any of the other 3 great targets, again, I'm going to go for Gloria, and that's going to be where I focus my rerolling efforts. And anything after that, I'm going to put towards the Beryl Cole banner to get one or the other. Would love to have Beryl. I like, really strong mages in my teams and my parties. But if I get Cole, I'm not going to feel bad about that either. And then after that, I'm just going to save all the way up to pity for Inanna whenever she gets a banner to come out. That's going to be my next, solid focus. And what if you don't want to reroll? You heard all this and you said, you know what, that sounds like a pain. I'm not into that. I just want to play the game. Look, you're going to be fine, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, there are people out there doing no pull runs. And yes, you're going to need strategy. You're not going to walk into a no pull run and just blitz through everything. Will these characters make your account stronger? 100%. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. Is it worth your time rerolling? If you want it to be, right? Time is something you don't get back. And so if you don't want to do this, please don't feel pressured. Please don't feel like you're behind. Go have fun with the characters you pull. And like I said, for myself, if there's no guest login, I have a limited amount of personal emails. I'm not making another email account. And one of these accounts is going to be what I get. And that's it. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit, right? Now, if you do pull one, take a look at this video I've linked up here. That'll walk you through how to build a character with the limited resources as to not be wasteful on things that are harder to come by. I'll see you on the next one.